Welcome back to another exciting, head scratching episode of Insane Disappearances. Tonight, my friends, we're going to be discussing one of the most creepiest one. Oh, shit. Dang it. Anyway,
One moment, please.
yes. Hold on. Okay, like I said, we are going to be discussing one of the most creepiest, one of the most craziest places that I consider at the moment that has a lot of weird stuff happening. And it's called the Nahanni Valley, Valley of the Headless Men. A lot of crazy stuff that's been happening in that place. So, like I said, tonight we are going to be talking about that, and we're going to be doing an update on Riley Strain, which is even more crazy than it was before. So, we're going to just wait for people to come on in, since I'm starting today's episode with some weird.
Hey, JD's already in here. Hey, JD.
Hey, yo, what's going on? Welcome. So, yeah, we're just gonna, wait for more people to chime in. I had to make sure I could see what it is I'm going to be talking about. So, if they ever heard of the Nahanni Valley headless men stories, then they may be interested. So we got time. So
What the heck?
she ran and knocked over the camera.
Okay. What was he running from?
I have no idea.
Your mom?
Possibly.
Yeah, would not be surprised. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Apparently, even though it looks like you're not both in the view. Actually, when I looked at the videos, because of the camera being at the angle that it is, it actually picked up both of your faces. It just don't look like that now, but
Odd.
very odd. Because every time I kept going like this here, so everybody can be in the view of the camera when you're talking, you are already actually in the view of the camera. I was like, okay. So we got.
The more you know.
Yep. All right, so we got 3 coming in. So for the number 3, welcome to Insane Disappearances. Where tonight we're talking about the Nahanni Valley, aka the Valley of the Headless Men. So, as I
Yeah, we did our research on this.
yeah,
Research.
took us a couple of days.
We weren't able to find all the cases.
Yeah.
But we found quite a few.
Yes, we have. And that's why it was like, 2 days since the last video. But yeah, like I said, there was a lot of research that had to be done about these cases. Some of them were mentioned, but they couldn't find any information on them. And there's these, but then there's a lot of those stuff.
And some of the dates weren't very clear.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta think about it. We're talking about 1908. Back then, there was no forensic technology. There was no computers to log all this stuff into a database. So everybody kept written records, and I'm pretty sure with all the cases of people vanishing or disappearing or turning up with their heads missing, that's a lot of work if you got to do everything by hand. So a lot of them might not have been handworthy to write all this stuff down. So a lot of it may have gotten missed or missing or just not recorded. But the ones that were definitely very strange. So, but yeah, like I said, we're gonna give people time to chime in so we can get things started. So, just bear with us. Let's send a couple of links.
I'm done with this. I should have done thing. So. That was me.
Oh, okay.
Well, ours is blue and it has a little wrench next to it.
Yeah, because we
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
still don't know what Dodger decided
yeah, that was,
Look, the camera is angled down a little bit now too, because of that, but it's okay. We'll fix it.
yeah, I had to,
It's
fix
not
that later.
important at the moment.
Yep. Yeah, we starting pretty late tonight because, like I said, we had a lot of research we had to do. Had a couple
It's okay.
videos we had to watch, that had some of the information on there that we needed to do the live stream. So yeah, and then we had to get, like I said, we had to get our information down.
But yeah, the link's in the group chat, so if you need it.
Okay, I got it. I was actually able to pull up
What?
the video.
I don't know.
Did you just see that?
Yes, I did.
She just kind of jumped and she was going after something, but I didn't see the bug.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's the
yeah,
beetle.
it is, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got a beetle and a moth.
A beetle and a moth, yep.
We got buggy things too.
Yeah,
Oh yes, yes. All
they snuck their way in the back door.
over.
Oh god.
Really?
Anyway. Oh boy, I tell you.
Anyway,
Oh, Carol is on the Facebook message. Seen it.
how are we doing?
Yeah. Let us know something.
Yeah, for the ones that are sitting here, we're over here, sending notifications out.
Yep. So they can, chime in if they want to. Let's see. Oh. There we go. So, yeah, all my friends.
Call me friends.
My boy Ed Wilson. Said he wanted to. Pretty much to everyone that gave me support.
Oh, you sent it to that dude that emailed you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Actually,
Dropped his info.
actually, I haven't even seen it because he said he's been doing a lot of traveling. Been on the road the whole time.
Yeah, but I can still watch it after.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I'm sending it to him because it wasn't an email. He was actually in the comment section and sent me telling me that he didn't forget about my email. So, and I did put my email address on the my what's the name?
Bio?
My
Yeah, there we go. Good. So it's like, oh, you want to know more? Emails in the Bible.
Yep.
Gotta make it a lot easier.
Oh yeah, a whole lot easier.
I'm pretty okay, I think, about to add the ribbon to my hat for my Lady of Deets cosplay this year for Beetlejuice 2. Nice!
Cool.
Four.
Oh, we got 4.
Yeah.
Once again, welcome to Insane Disappearances. Tonight, our discussion is going to be on the Nahanni Valley, aka Valley of the Headless Men.
Not to be confused with Legend of Sleepy Hollow Headless
Oh,
Horseman.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's a whole different story, which is actually a story.
Yeah, and when you start getting into what the authorities say happened, you're gonna get a laugh out of that, because we certainly did.
Oh yes, it was very entertaining. I'm like, we was laughing, literally laughing. I was like, seriously? Okay. Whatever.
Anyway.
Yeah. I gotta figure out which one that was.
Riley Straight one?
I was looking for the comment when he sent me telling me that he was, you know, on the road a lot in CJ or
Was that in the first one or the second one? I can't
I
remember.
think it was the second one.
What's going on?
I think I know what it was. Let's see. The last one. This one. Oh, wait. Okay, I know how to get there. I have to go to here. Distract me. Okay, let me see. I think I have to go here. There we go, because it did pop up here. I can go straight to. I think she's just playing around, I guess.
I don't know. The dogs are acting crazy. We've had one knock the camera over bolting and the other one, I don't know what that was, but.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Can't find it.
It's up here. I just gotta find where it is because it popped up here in my notifications. There we go. Let's see. Wait. Yeah, that's I hate it when people do this and I can't find it when I want to find it.
That's always how it goes, and it's usually always right in front of me.
And I remember seeing it because I sent him a message each time, but it was like I said, it was in the comment section. So I think it's here. Just wish I could remember exactly which one it was. Let's see. Yep, this is it. This is the one. See?
Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna send one. Okay. Him. This. This late on.
Sure.
I have some of the others too. I'll send it real quick. I'll do that later. Okay. I think that might be it for now. I can send the rest later. Oh, but there is someone I can send it to in a text though. Let's see. Okay. Alrighty, everyone. Now that we got about 4 in the room, I figure we can, kind of get started with a little introduction.
Do we want to do that first, or go ahead and give the update on Riley Straight, or do you wanna wait about that?
Let's do
Go ahead and do the Riley Straight.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that'll get it out of the way.
Yeah, plus we already did a video about him, so that would be better. Okay, we just watched a video on YouTube where another person covered this new evidence that he found one rather strange. And believe you me, it was just as strange as all the others. One of which it started with, or I'll just start with when he was at the bar. The video shows him walking out of the, or being escorted out of the bar down the stairs by security. And one of the reports from, I guess, when they interviewed his friends, they said that one of them walked him to the door or downstairs to the exit. But that part never showed up in the video. And what's even more stranger, his mother said that he called him, during the time when he was in Nashville hanging out with his friends after they graduated, saying that his drink tasted funny, and she told him not to drink it. Here's the even funnier part, or crazy part. They said that his when he looked up the toxicology report and the autopsy, it showed that he had a large amount of drinking alcohol, as well as
Rubbing alcohol.
well, it was rubbing alcohol
Yes.
in his system.
Yes. Isopropyl alcohol, which is rubbing alcohol. He had a very high dose
Yes.
in his system, which the question is, why did he have rubbing alcohol in his system?
Yes. I mean, there are cases where if they can't find alcohol, if they don't have alcohol, they want to get that buzz some other kind of way. So I've heard of people drinking rubbing alcohol, or drinking or taking any other type of substance like cough syrup, or even they using like spray cans, like the aerosol cans. So I'm like, but first of all, he was
Yes.
not really a drinker. He wasn't really a
Yeah,
drinker.
he wasn't like an alcoholic.
Yeah.
So, plus he had access to actual alcohol.
Yeah.
So why would he be drinking rubbing alcohol?
Exactly. And
But another interesting thing is, according to the autopsy, his body was still in rigor mortis when he was pulled out of the river. Which, if you know anything at all about that, it means he was dead for less time than he was missing.
and that is one of the biggest criteria, or one of the many biggest criteria in the missing 411 cases that David Paulides pointed out, where the time of your death or your death does not match up with the amount of time you spent in the water, or your body alone spent in the water, which is that case. He also pointed out, not David Paulides, but the other video that we watched, the bridge that he was crossing, that they claim he fell over and hit the water from. Looking at the terrain beneath that bridge, there is no way in hell he would have hit that water without sustaining some kind of damage to his body. And I mean, even cranial damage.
Yeah, because it was just trees and rocks and
Boulders.
Yeah, and it's like a sheer kind of drop off, and he would have been.
He might have even been in.
There's no way he would fall down that without getting some kind of injury on his body.
Yeah, possibly even impaled by one of the branches, because it was like, you didn't see any leaves down there. And it was, what month was that? Was that like in the fall or the winter?
No, it was towards the end of winter.
Okay, so yeah.
Really?
What
Well,
the heck?
there's under the table.
Wow.
What? How did that fall?
I have no idea. There was no vibrations coming on. There's no vibrations around.
Yeah, nobody touched the
We're
table.
back.
Okay, that was weird.
Yeah, we don't know how this keeps happening. It's strange. There's no vibrations, no shaking, none of that
Yeah,
stuff.
nobody touched the table.
Yeah, my hands are clean. Right here. Okay. Okay, so like I said, he could have easily been impaled by one of those branches, had he fallen the way they said. So the fact that he had rubbing alcohol in his system, the fact that he wasn't in the water, long enough for him to be in that rigor state, that would mean he was somewhere else for a time, and then he was placed in the water. So think about that. It's in 411, so that means somebody or something did this. And trust me, there is no human element. I can guarantee you that. The idea is what or who, but I'm telling you, I don't want to know. If you can do that and not get caught, and just the fact that there was no, like I said, damage to his bones, his body, no cause of death, which is a criteria in every single one, especially with young men being found in bodies of water at all. Very, very strange. Very strange. So yeah, that was pretty much the premise on the new information that he found.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he did some very extensive research. Like when he got the toxicology report and the autopsy report, I was like, wow, okay. But there's a lot of things that he couldn't get, like the CCTV camera videos or even security videos. Apparently there is a video out there that they said it shows him falling, but they're not putting it out there for some reason. He also said that if the family said no, don't do it, we just want some peace, he understood that. But at least tell the people that. They're not even saying that, so that makes me wonder. You saw something that you don't want people to know about, or you saw who may have done it, or what may have done it. So that makes me wonder about them. Why are you holding that hostage? Why are you keeping that from the public? You know, you don't think that we're supposed to know? Yeah. I look at it like this here. If they were to put that out, it wouldn't be what we were expecting. The footage that is. So, what you say?
She said, I came back to my room yesterday and my Batman tater tot plushie thingy was lying on my floor. It's usually on a shelf. And then she said, camera being yeeted reminded me.
This is not the first time that camera's been needed today.
Yeah. It actually happened around 6:49 this morning. It was on the floor.
Oh no, that was that camera over there.
Oh, over there.
This camera over here.
Oh yeah, this sucker done fell over and nobody
Well,
touched
I mean, this one's
Yeah.
fallen twice today.
Yeah. The first time was at 6:49 this morning. I didn't even realize it until she noticed it. And I'm like,
Oh yeah, because I woke up and it was face down on the floor and I'm like, what the heck?
yeah. And I have file footage of it actually falling on the floor. Just you couldn't see what it was that actually knocked it over, or who it was who knocked it over. You know, just someone trying to make themselves known. I'm pretty sure it was one of our guardians trying to be funny in their own way, but maybe. But yeah. So that definitely with Riley Strange, it's like the evidence is just getting stranger and stranger, and the fact that the so-called police department is keeping that information away from the public, especially when we deserve to know. If we're trying to figure out what happened to him, we care enough to know. I mean, what type of caring do they have for you to keep that away from everybody? I mean, it seems like you guys, they are the only ones that know what really happened, and they don't want us to know. I mean, if they don't want us to know, that means something happened to him that is so strange. They want to keep it strange out of the investigation, or out of the eyes and ears of the public. So it makes me wonder, what kind of footage do they have? I mean, even the extensive footage of him walking in the streets, you know, the CCTV cameras, the security cameras at the club, everything that we should be seeing, they're not showing. Like I said, just like with the footage of him walking down the stairs, he clearly could not be out there on his own. He had too much alcohol in his system, on top of the rubbing alcohol he had in his system. And none of his friends were with him at any time. They just let him leave and let him end up in the water somewhere. So, I mean, crazy. But yeah, that, like I said, that's pretty much it on that case, unless there was something else. I think that was pretty much it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. The rubbing alcohol, the fact that he was still in the rigor when they pulled him out of the water, which means I think it's like 72 hours at the most that rigor gets out of your system.
Yeah. So yeah, now on to the main event, the topic at hand, which would be the Nahanni Valley, aka the Valley of Headless Men. I mean, it started pretty far back in like 1908, in February, as a matter of fact, with a guy named Frankie and Willie McLeod. They were brothers, and they definitely were brothers.
Yeah, they look so much like crazy.
Yeah, they had that classic cowboy era look, you know, where they had the mustache and and like it had a little black and white. It's kind of like it reminds you of those cowboy mugshots, you know, that they always have, you know, the wanted posters. Where it's like I don't know, they just had that look of that era, you know. But they were of course searching for gold. That was part of the whole Nahanni Valley thing, where a lot of people would go there to find gold or hunt for it and bring it back and do whatever they do with it. There was one found face up in his bed, one found face down, reaching for his rifle, and both were missing their heads. Now, in a lot of these cases, in almost every single one, the cabin that they were in was burnt to a crisp. And in some cases, with them inside. One of them in particular, I'm not sure, I want to make sure I'm not getting too far ahead, but they said when they set it on fire, the whole place caved in on him from the roof. But now
yeah, and that one, I can't wait to see the laughter that happens when they say the cause of his death.
Oh yeah. Oh.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that part. Now we have found a very good prospect. You know, it was carved into something nearby. You know, it's like I think like it's like somebody carved something in the wood.
He had a habit of, I think it was Willie had a habit of like carving things.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
I think it was a piece of wood. He carved into a piece of wood.
Oh yeah. That seems to be a thing with people from back in that area. They have a knife and they be carving wood into something like just like whatever, like maybe a tool or maybe a little statue, wooden statue or something like that.
But yeah, that's what was carved into a piece of wood near their campsite. We have found a very good prospect, which implies they found gold.
Yep. So, and see, here's the thing. Apparently, you finding gold in that area where it has basically it's never really been touched by anyone, but except for the ones coming in there and finding out about gold. And see, those places used to be inhabited by, Indians, like a whole tribe. And what were those?
The Nahanni.
Yeah, the Nahanni tribe.
Well, it's like the Nahanni people, but there's like different tribes of it that there were several tribes.
Oh yeah, and two of them were rivals. The funny part about that is that they wanted to come back and take them out around at nighttime, but when they got there, they were nowhere to be found. They were gone. So I don't know if they migrated somewhere or they disappeared or vanished. Who knows? I mean, there's been cases about that in other areas, like in Alaska, where this it was like an entire clan. It was like they had everything set up. They had a fire. They had animals. They had food. Some of it was still hot, like as if they just left, but they were all gone and they were never found. But in this case, authorities said they
Starved.
They starved to death,
Yeah.
and that the wolves had started going after the bodies, and that's why their heads were missing. Okay, first of all, anybody that knows anything about death by animals, I have seen how they treat their prey. They drag them with their teeth to a certain spot. Most of the time, they cover it with dirt, or they cover it with dirt to preserve it for later for their cubs or whatever. I have never heard of any case of a person who was attacked by any type of wild animal in those areas and they bite their head off.
Well, there's also the fact that one of them was in the bed, which means he was laying perfectly in his little bedroll in the camp. But the only thing that was missing was his head.
Yeah.
And when they found them, they were skeletal.
Yes.
But they had actually left for the Nahanni Valley to search for gold in 1905. It wasn't until 1908 that they were discovered.
Mm-hmm. 3 4 years later. I mean,
So, The question is, if they're laying there, their bones are not scattered all over the place. That means they weren't scavenged by animals at all.
Nope.
So you gotta ask yourself a question. 3 years their bodies was laying out there. Why didn't animals actually scavenge their body?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. We're talking about a very open, untouched area of forest, okay? And not one animal in that area wanted to touch these bodies.
Or more than just talking heads.
Oh yeah. You know, so I'm like, how can that even be possible? Now there is a thought about a certain type of not prey, but the what do you call it?
Predator?
Predator. Yeah. Predator in my mind for a second, sorry. Now there's certain predators, like predators cause a certain thing that happens all the time in those kind of areas, where every known type of creature or animal or bug, they all get quiet. It's like they know the predator's coming, so they all get silent so that they won't be detected by the predator. We talking birds, every other animal that may be in that forest. Bugs, you don't hear bugs. Heck, even the wind don't even blow. You see trees swaying, but the wind doesn't blow. And that's a good sign that there's a predator in the area. So any other type of animal that could even be able or capable of thinking of these bodies as prey, they would smell the scent of the predator and stay away. They know not to touch it. But even the predators didn't touch it. So that means there's something else out there that even has the predators. Think about that. I mean, really?
Well, the fact that they said they took a look at the bodies and said they starved to death.
Oh boy, what does a person?
And scavengers made off with their heads, just their heads. Okay.
Okay, if the scavenger's going after anything, it's not going to be the head. The head is very hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Well, anything
it
like
would
that.
be coming after, the soft parts.
Yeah, the softer parts. That's what they go with.
Yeah, yeah, because that like in the stomach, that's where the protein will be. Like they go for the guts, the intestines, all that. So that leads me to believe that there is something out there that we don't want to know about, because if whatever that is can scare a predator away and tell them don't touch this, or they don't even have to say them. They just their presence alone will keep every predator known to man away from those bodies. They weren't touched for 3 to 4 years.
Now, there was a third man who had supposedly went with them, but they couldn't even agree on what his name was,
Yep.
which is weird.
Yeah.
Some people said Wilkinson, some people said Weir, or
Oh,
something like that. Wire, Weir, something
Yeah.
like that. But
A lot of weird names.
he was never found,
Mhm.
but all their belongings were there
Yep.
with them. And some people speculated that he had killed them and then ran off with whatever gold was.
Mhm.
But I think the natives of the area said they later found his body.
Oh yeah, yeah, I think so.
So
Huh?
there goes that theory.
Yeah. I mean, but they also could have said that too, because I mean, like I said, the record of anything happening in that era, I mean, it's like it was all very primitive. Everything was written in a book. So, and then to keep people from finding out what really happened, they could have wrote anything they wanted.
Well, these were the natives.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the natives, not the authorities.
Yeah, not the authorities.
Yeah.
So,
The natives are the ones who said that. The authorities didn't really pay attention to what they were saying.
but yeah, you're right. You're right.
So
They wanted to put their own little spin on what happened, because all I know is that there's a lot of weird shit going on in the Nahanni Valley.
oh yeah.
A lot of weird shit. Now, another case about a guy, same area, named Martin Jordanson. This is between 1910 and 1911 or 1915.
Yeah, this is
something
where the year is not exactly clear. There's like
Yeah.
a big
very huge
Some
cabin.
people say this time, some people say that time, so.
Mhm. So they found his cabin burnt down. His rifle and pistol were outside the cabin, along with some of his clothes. A trail led away from the cabin was followed. An axe was found in the middle of the trail. It was like a short distance from where the axe was, which was behind, and it was like behind a tree. Behind the tree was Georgeson himself, Headless. Once again, so that definitely was crazy. But here's the part that really had us laughing. Authorities said that he was shot, robbed, and hidden behind a tree. But yeah, he was headless. So I would imagine they said that they took his head.
Also, I don't think there was any evidence that he was shot. It was never mentioned in any of the research.
Yeah.
Only that they said that he was shot, robbed, and then the people who robbed him hid him behind the tree. But that doesn't explain how the cabin got burned down.
Yeah.
Or why his rifle and his pistol were outside along with some of his clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know what the deal with the axe was. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a lot of that stuff was placed in these areas on purpose to throw authorities or anybody else off the scent of who or what may have caused the deaths of these people, including him. Because I mean, the fact that is this the one that was in the bed and it just collapsed?
No, that was a different one.
Okay, that was gonna be real funny. Oh my goodness.
It was that one that was like, okay.
Ooh, boy. Now, John O'Brien, this was this was around like 1922. He was like a fur trader. He went to go check, some traps. He was missing for about like 3 weeks. He was found frozen. Here's the crazy part. This was in the summertime. How in the hell you be frozen in the summertime? How? Why would they say that if they found this dude in the summer, but you were frozen solid?
Somebody making popsicles.
Something, put him in the freezer. Now that was me because I went like this.
That was me. I like my leg kind of
Oh.
hit the table.
We need to get a more stable system that won't get
Something.
seizing from all the falling over.
Oh boy, we need to glue this sucker.
I keep
Are you okay?
Yep,
Oh, boy.
burnt myself on
You need to
incense.
glue this sucker to the table.
No.
I know it
Don't put my iPad to the table, bro.
It was a joke, man. Okay. Anyway, so I'm just saying, how in the hell can you tell people in these reports that a person you found in the summer was frozen? So that makes me think.
Yeah, he froze to death, yeah. Sure.
Did they put him in an icebox?
Did they even have, what was it, 1922?
Yeah.
Can't think of it.
Oh,
Not
you're
the
the
normal.
It's just two braids.
Yeah. Or pigtails.
I just braid them.
Oh, they just braids. So yeah. Anyway.
Because cornrows are like multiple.
Oh yeah, multiple. Yeah. Those are like more like, well, not even pigtails, but they're like
This
this.
is like closer to like box braids or something.
Yeah, I never had two. I always had cornrows, but anyway. But that was before I was involved. Nah, of course that was my choice. I cut it off. Anyway, getting off track here. But yeah, that's. Well, y'all know how I do, man. I always trail off. But yeah, that is probably the craziest thing I've ever heard. I mean, the fact that he was in the summer and you were frozen. So I'm thinking that whatever did this to him, or whoever did this to him, took him up into the mountain where it was nice and cold, and left him there until he was like this. Then they brought him down while he was still like this. Sat him down to wherever they put him at, which was what did they say they found him at?
It was somewhere down the trap line because he had been going to check the traps.
So yeah.
Missing.
Well, yeah, they said he was checking the traps. So wherever he may have been when they found him, like say, I don't know, in the area where the traps was, sitting maybe on a log. I think there was a fire in front of him.
Some reports said that, but
Yeah.
I don't think that was ever really confirmed.
Yeah, there's a
But,
lot of very misconceptions.
Some people said he had matches still in his hand and
Oh,
he was
yeah,
frozen
yeah.
that way. So, I mean, it's kind of unconfirmed. It wasn't in
Yeah.
any of the official reports. So.
Yeah, because they could have just put the doggone matches in his hand just to make it look like he was doing something. But in the summer, frozen. I mean, there's too many holes in that story. But
That
yeah,
that one was super weird.
yeah, and the fact, once again, head gone. So.
Oh no, he had his head.
Oh no, yeah,
He still had his head.
Yeah, he still had his head. So for me, that would be another way for them to throw people off the scent or off the trail. One person or maybe a few they still had their head, but it was just the weirdness of that bull crap that made no sense. So moving on to 1933. This was about a man named Phil Powers, also a trapper. You know, they found his cabin also burnt down completely. I mean, talking like burnt rubbish. Yeah, rubble. Anyway, but with this guy, totally different. He was charred down to his skeleton. Ooh, so that means, well, we'll get to that part. He was found with a document that read, "Phil Powers is finished, 1932." Now, this was in 1933.
Yeah, that's when they found it.
That's when they found it.
Yeah.
So the paper that they found was, it was dated 1932, but they found it in there in 1933. So that.
Yeah, but that means the paper, the document was placed
Yes.
there.
If they was able to read it, that means it was
After
recent.
the fire
Right.
had burned the cabin down.
Exactly. So this was if they was able to read all that, that means it was placed there after everything was happening. So that alone is still is confusing.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
So now this document appeared to have been placed, like we said, after the fire. His rifle was found rigged with a tripwire. So that means he may have known that somebody was tracking him to rob him of his gold, maybe, or maybe somebody was after him and he wanted to catch them and let the gun go off and kill them, but maybe they were too smart because he still needed them dead and burnt to a crisp. But oh man, the authorities said that he was asleep in bed and the cabin collapsed on top of him. Now they determined it was a suicide.
Yeah, that made no sense. Okay, first they said he was asleep in bed, and then it collapsed on top of him, and then they said he committed suicide. He did it on purpose.
But okay, look. First of all, if your cabin is burning down around you, there's gonna be smoke everywhere. If you sleep, you're gonna be coughing like crazy. You're gonna inhale a bunch of smoke. Now I can understand if you die from inhalation of the toxic smoke from a fire. But suicide?
Well, like we were talking about earlier when we were doing the researches, these weren't like big cabins. This is like 1933.
Yeah.
And they're small hunting cabins
Mm-hmm.
that trappers had built in the Nahanni Valley region.
Yeah.
So they're like maybe 1-2 rooms at the most.
Yep. And I can show you an image of that cabin. The cabin of the two brothers, Frank and McLeod, they're actually standing in front of a cabin that might be similar to the one that Phil Powers died in. But hold on, give me a second here. I might be able to pull that up because there's a lot of information about that. And here we go. Okay, let's see. Okay. Well, you know what? This might be better because I don't want to act all wonky. You see this? These are one of the two brothers. And you see that cabin they were in? I mean, all the cabins were built like that because we're talking about actual wood. So this is about as small as they were. You know, like she said, like maybe 1 or 2 rooms. And they probably had one of those wood burning stoves at the same time too. But that's pretty much how they all look. So with that, it was just like, what? I mean, that couldn't have been a suicide because the smoke, I would think, would have woke him up unless he deliberately just stayed in the room.
Just laid in bed.
And just let the fire take him.
And, well, technically, we don't know. They said the room he was in collapsed in on him.
Yeah. That's not a suicide, though. That's just house burning.
Well, obviously, the entire cabin didn't burn down because they were able to
Right.
find that his the paper in there, but also they found the rifle that was rigged with a tripwire.
Yeah. So, like I said, he knew that by they call them like gold rustlers or something like that, like the ones that want to take your gold and couldn't keep their own. You know, I can understand why he may have done it so that if that were to happen, you know, that's his protection. That was his very own alarm system. You know, but yeah. Okay, now this was in 1936. This one's about a man named William Epler and Joseph Mulholland. I think that's Irish. So, but,
Irish or Scottish, one of those two.
yeah.
How do you spell it?
Mulholland.
M-U-L.
Holland.
Well, there's someone. Yep, Irish Ulster.
All right. Cool.
It's an anglicized form of a Gaelic name
Okay.
that
Interesting.
means a devotee of the Cadens.
Hmm.
It's a family in Ulster.
Okay. Cool.
It was one of the 2 main Midland chieftain families that have died out.
Right. Okie dokie. All right. Well, moving on. Okay. Yeah. Let me see. Now, that cabin was found burnt down as well. They were never found though, so there's a good chance they may have not been home at the time, and they burned it down so they won't have a place to stay after they came back. You know, to realize that somebody was after them or after they gold or whatever. But this is during that gold rush at the time, so everybody was trying to, you know, get some, you know. But yeah, that's not as good as the last one, but just as strange. Now in 1946 though, there's a guy named Frank Henderson. He was reported.
That's the one who reported his partner.
Partner. Okay.
Yeah.
He reported his partner Jack Patterson as missing. Now they entered the valley from opposite sides, and they were supposed to meet up, you know, in the middle somewhere. He never showed up. And you see, that's the thing. It's just like in those the missing 411 cases where they are on a trail and a person gets ahead of them, and when they get to where they think or thought that they were, they're gone. They just poof, nowhere to be found. Some of them are never found. Some of them are found just in places far away from where they were last seen. Now, let's see. Now he never, like I said, he never showed up. The native trackers became nervous after a few days, you know, saying there were white figures in the woods at night moving around. Now see, that right there is a sign of something that is not human, or what they would consider is probably ghosts, you know, of the forest or whatever. But you know, they left, and like I said, they were never found. Well, he was never found. And I said, that makes me wonder, where did they go if they were never found?
Disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but the question is, how did they disappear? Was it a portal? Did a nature being that was protecting the forest at the time? I don't know. That's just the way I think. You know how I do. It could be anything, but it was just the fact that the person just disappeared. And the fact that they were, hunting or trying to get gold in an area that they were trying to take stuff that didn't belong to them. It belonged to the forest. But that's, like I said, that's just my personal opinion. I don't know. I was not there. But it's a possibility. Okay, so.
My niece would say that the white figures were skinwalkers. LOL, she's obsessed.
Well, maybe. Because there is a legend, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Once we read all the cases.
Right. Okay, now this case is this happened in 1971. Now Nahanni Valley is declared at that point a national park by Canadian government. See, the way I see it, the reason why they did that bullshit is to keep people from constantly finding out that somebody is dying or being disappeared in these places.
I find it funny that after all
Trying to
that,
gain control.
yeah, they
It's
declared it.
It's a control tactic.
Yep. Just like with all the other national forests, like Yosemite, all the other places where all of these mysterious vanishings happen. Even like in my video about Brown Mountain National Park and the female that had her very strange experience there. All these places governed by a federal organization to control what knowledge is coming out of these places. Very weird shit. So, I hate myself. I can't say that. But anyway, now this is propelling us into the future. This another case happened in 2005. This is about a man named Fred Hardesty and David Horsey. They were staying at a friend's cabin, to do some repairs. They were last seen alive on June 12th by the owner of the cabin. His name was Rob Gunderson. This was on June 16th. Now, Rob, he returned to the cabin.
He returned on June 16th.
Oh, wait, okay, he returned on June 16th. I read it wrong. He returns to the cabin.
What you doing?
What's that, y'all?
Anyway, so yes, he returned. Rob Gunderson returned to his cabin on June 16th to check on them, and they were gone. I'm like gone. Now their supplies, tools, and weapons were there. There were no signs of a break-in of any kind or struggle. Now authorities stopped searching by the 23rd of June. Leaving the friends to continue searching. Now, David Horsey was found on June 27th. He was, I'd say, about 2.5 miles into the brush in an area that was already searched. Think about that. We're talking about the same thing that happens in all these other cases when the SAR teams go out and start searching certain areas. And they search these areas over and over again, like maybe 30 times. And on the 31st time, poof, there they are. Same thing with this.
Yeah, and I think they did say it was searched multiple times.
Yeah.
And he was not there.
Yeah, so that would mean that somebody placed his body there so they could find it. The question is, who, what, and how? But that's the big big mystery. Nobody ever really finds out who, what, or how. But yeah, so that case was definitely weird because, like I said, it was definitely a missing 411 case, even though it happened way back. Well, this was way back. This was 2005. So this is in the height of the missing 411 cases.
That's weird.
Yeah, and
That's
what?
suspicious.
oh
Very.
yeah, there's more to that case too. So that wasn't the end of that case.
Oh yeah, that wasn't the
Yeah.
end. So I'm like, okay, that means there's more to come about that case. So they would have to reopen it, or you know.
Oh no, the restaurant's right there.
Okay. There we go. Right here. Been doing a lot of research. Okay. So now one of the searchers,
Said.
one of the searchers said it looked like David's arms had been burned.
Yeah, the forearm and the hands specifically.
So now, was this like in the fall, the winter, or the summer?
No, this was summer. This
Yeah.
was June.
Once again.
I think it's a June.
In
Yeah,
June, like
June.
June 27th.
Yeah, that's right.
So June 27th when they found him, it showed that his arms, both of them, like in the forearm area, was burnt, and his hands.
They didn't
so-
say how severely though.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was like just like a little bit or if it was like completely or what. Just that they looked like they were burned.
Yeah, so the only way I could think of if his arms were burned and as well as his hands is if someone was to take a flame and just put his hands over the fire like this and just let them burn. If it was of his own doing, or if somebody just took a fire and just put it on his arms, I don't know. Just the fact that they found his arms burnt like that and not having reason why, there was no evidence to show that he was burnt in any kind of way. Just the fact that he was found with his arms burnt like that as well as his hands. Now, authorities said it was an accident. How? I mean, you don't know. You weren't there, but you said it was an accident. That's the one thing I hate about authorities when they do shit like that. They'll tell you, oh, it was an accident, or it was hypothermia, it was this, it was that. Yet you were not there to see it. So how the hell are you gonna say that about what happened to these people? You may be what they would call the authority, but you're not experts in certain things, which is the reason why they have what they call experts to tell you what happened to the body. But see, I'm pretty sure back in 2005 they still didn't have extensive technology that could determine the condition of these bodies and what happened to them. It was still in the early stages. So, but the authorities they re-entered the investigation, and they bring in search dogs, and Fred Hardesty was found finally on July 7th in the North Nahanni River. Now, also in an area previously searched. So, if they searched that area more than once and then went back again just to make sure they covered enough ground in those areas, poof, there it was. So it's like whoever did this or whatever did this was monitoring the area or watching them the entire time. And it was like, okay, yeah, we gonna fuck with them. Now we gonna put the body back. Poof, there it is. Blows their mind. I'm like, he wasn't there before. I know we checked this area. I'm pretty sure they even have marks, or markers in those areas to show that they did search those areas. Now, in areas like that, you really do have to make sure you mark those areas because we're talking about a lot of fauna. We're talking about trees, brush, you name it. Probably like prickly thorn bushes or whatever. Might be hard to even get into, so they would have to make sure they mark the areas to make sure they don't get lost or forget where they found these people or where they looked. But yet again, previously searched, then all of a sudden they find him. Now, Fred Hardesty, from what they said, drowned. David Hardesty died of hypothermia.
Yeah.
According to the authorities.
In June.
In June?
He died of hypothermia.
How?
In June.
The guy who did this research said that the temperature of the water was not even cold enough for them to even
No, I think
be
he
a
said
fit.
it was like 40 degrees.
Yeah, like 40 degrees.
Well, he wasn't in the water. He was in the brush.
Oh well, yeah, he was in the brush, but still hypothermia. No,
It wasn't cold enough for him to
at all. So yeah, very very strange case.
Somebody likes making popsicles.
Yes, they do. Yeah, human popsicles, which is very
Well,
disgusting.
they also don't know why they left the cabin, why
Yeah.
they were found in different spots, because it was only like 4 days in
Yeah.
between the last time they were seeing him when he came back to check on how they were and if they needed anything, and they were not there.
Yeah, now they don't know they were not there, but they'll make something up. I mean, case in point, the Dotloff incident.
Yeah, that's what I always think of, like, why did they leave?
Yeah.
It really reminded me of the Dotloff Pass. Why did they leave the tent in the middle of the night? Why did they leave the cabin? Because
Now, was there a sign of rushing out of the cabin? I don't know. But with the Dotloff incident, there was footsteps everywhere. You could tell that they were rushing out. People breaking out of the place, trying to get out of there, even though the people, whatever was chasing them was outside,
Yeah.
but they go outside anyway.
well, Rob Gunderson, the guy who owned the cabin, did say that there was no sign of a struggle or there was no sign of a break-in.
Mhm.
Everything appeared fine.
Yes.
But their weapons and their tools and all their supplies were there, but they weren't.
Right.
So,
So that would lead me to believe that either they were held at gunpoint and were forced to leave, or some supernatural thing happened where they got sucked into a portal and was sent somewhere else. I don't know.
well, they were found in opposite directions. So one of them was in the brush and the other one was in the river.
Yeah. So,
But also, the only reason that they found Fred Hardesty was because of the tracking dogs. How were the tracking dogs able to track his scent? Like, almost a month later.
Yeah.
And they tracked it right to the river.
Because that scent would have been dead and gone.
Yeah.
Yep. Unless they knew where he was and they just went straight to him. I don't know. So there's a thought of they know some stuff that they're not telling people, and they just put stuff in the media or in the newspaper that we see sounds incredible, but they know we can't do anything about it. You know, they're the authorities, they're the law. So what are we gonna do? Fight, argue about it, protest about it, and they gonna do what they do. Authorities will authority. So, man, I tell you, it's a lot of.
Do you want to get into the legend of the people that live there, the Nahanni people, and the legend of the Nahanni?
Oh yeah, most definitely. But let me see. Put that part up.
The Nahanni? Oh, I can tell you.
Oh, there we go. Had that be my
So,
friend.
okay, so the people, the native people there, they would talk about these people, the Nahanni, who were, some of them, sometimes they were described as human, sometimes they were described as monsters. But they would hibernate during the colder months and come out in the warmer months. And they were known to go into the native people's camps and stuff and take women and children. And when they would go after them, they would find where they had been, but it was always like they were gone by the time that they got there. Like they had literally just left. Like fires and stuff would still be burning. But they were described as sometimes being tree people, as in have tree. Human. So I find that interesting.
Yeah, very.
That they would take people and these people would go missing.
Except these people, his. Now those people, that was a whole different, way that they vanished. But
Well, every one of the people who disappeared were there, like, taking something away from the land.
Yeah.
Whether it be the animals or gold or whatever. They were taking something, so I'm just kind of wondering if the Nahanni or the tree people were
Protecting
nature,
the land.
yeah,
Yeah.
protecting the land, nature beings.
Nature beings. Okay. Not nature spirits. On the internet, and they always say nature spirits. Now, I've seen videos of nature spirits, or what they call nature spirits. Like, they would catch images in the water of like a face of a female. It could be a nature being that chose to inhabit water. Okay, or to be water. Then there's faces you would see in the mountains where it would look like a snowy bank, and then you see a face in it. You know, that would be them making themselves known. There's even faces in trees. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was coming home one night. In my subdivision. Come home one night, and I would see a face in the trees, like in the leaf area. But what they would do is they would use everything in nature to form the image that you would see because you were meant to see it, and that would be a nature being. You know, because they were making themselves known to you because you were meant to see what they look like or them introducing themselves to you. Now, in that case, it's a little different. This is them protecting the forest because of what people were doing, like taking things away from the forest that don't belong to them, like gold, or like you said, animals, chopping something down or carving something in the wood, you name it, which is a very unnatural thing to do. You're taking something that don't need to be taken away. Like say if it was sitting there or it was in that area for generations, thousands of years, and all of a sudden here you come. You're moving it from where it was supposed to be. It was meant to be there. So, and apparently they're very serious about it.
Yeah. I mean, there were more cases, but trying to find the information on it was very hard.
Very hard. You know, it's like they either wanted to keep that information from being found, or they just, I believe that.
That's the only reason that they hide the evidence.
Oh yeah.
Because they don't want people knowing.
Oh yeah. They don't want people to know the truth. Okay. Coincidentally, that's going to be one of my videos coming up.
They just want people to latch on to whatever story that they tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but okay, the very first case where they were like clearly,
But also sometimes they're a bit stupid.
Yes.
they said they starved to death.
Look how.
I think if
Are
they're
you
gonna
sure?
do a cover story, they probably should have gone with, this speculative thing that their partner betrayed them and
Yeah.
killed them and stole their gold and ran off.
Yeah,
But they starved to death. Okay.
I mean, so they give you a beginning and an end, but they leave out the in between on purpose so that you will be more stumped than anything. But yet, some people are just, open-minded enough to figure stuff out. Like, wait, this don't make sense. I mean, and then you start asking yourself questions, which is what we were doing with all these cases, with these people that went through all this. None of the stuff.
What are you doing? I don't. He's licking the carpet. What are you doing, buddy?
What?
He's
Why
licking-
are you doing that?
I heard a couple of pops like he was pulling
Oh,
some
that was
stuff
his
up.
toenails.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, but yeah, I mean, they're just full of a lot of surprises. I mean, they don't want you to know nothing about nature that is the truth. I mean, if you're out there and you're experiencing it, that's one thing. But if you're where we are, behind the camera, in front of the TV, you're only going to see what they want you to see. So, but even if you were to be out there, you may end up seeing something that you were never meant to see, which I think still is another reason why a lot of people go missing and are never found, because you see something that means, oh yeah, you were never supposed to be seen or found or known about, so we gotta make you disappear,
sure what he's doing.
I got a spot that's itching.
Come here, buddy. Come here.
So, but yeah, just so much stuff happening, so many cases where there's so much mystery to it, you know, and it's like I'm glad that a lot of the evidence gets put out there, but the evidence doesn't do anything but cause you to ask more questions because a lot of it either doesn't make any sense or it's just so strange you can't help but talk about it. Like,
Well, then there's a lot of people that literally just accept whatever they
yeah, and they
tell.
go with that.
They're betting on it.
Exactly, and they fall for it though. A lot of people fall for it, which is the reason why if I'm on my channel talking about stuff and it's very incredible information or very unbelievable information, you have those who believe you and you have those that don't. And you have the ones that want to doubt what you say and try to debunk everything. Or, you know, you may believe it, you may not, but that's perfectly natural. But that's only because you just don't have that knowledge. Now, when I think about something, what's up, buddy? When I think about something and it's dealing with something that sounds strange, I try to not come up with something logical, but I focus on the strange part only, which is the reason why my channel is so successful, because I only focus on the stuff that nobody wants to talk about. And I guess you can still call what I try to come up with theories, but when you hear strange evidence or strange, like, whatever coming from these cases, you can't help but think in a way that can only explain the strange parts.
It's just a theory. A strange theory.
Mm-hmm. And then try to act like you don't know what you're talking about, and you say you're leading people with, you know, into false knowledge and information. You just don't want nobody to know about the truth about certain things. And the truth is, all you do is leave out the parts that are supposed to be, you know, said. You don't want people to get any closer to the strange part, so you want to add your own evidence to it, you know, where it has a human element. Not everything has a human element. You know, if you ask me, none of these cases have a human element. Even the Nahanni cases, none of that stuff has a human element. I mean, you may have humans that were going out there for what they were going out there for, gold or whatever, prospecting or trapping for animals, you know, so they could have something to eat, you know, or even put something on their wall, which I think is very barbaric. But, you know.
Well, when it comes to the natives there had a very real fear of the Nahanni.
Yeah.
To them, you know, to us, the people be like, oh, it's just an urban legend or whatever. They had a very real fear of that thing.
Yeah.
So there's obviously something.
Oh yeah. And I look at it like this here. If they had a fear for them, they obviously existed. It's just that they existed in a way that we didn't have any knowledge of. Like, we're talking about people who would appear as half tree, half, you know, they would have tree stuff, but they would have the body of a human. You know, probably have branches on their shoulders or on their fingers. Who knows what they
Never really described it. It just said that they were part tree.
Yeah. But see, that's my whole point though. It could have been anything. They could have had, you know, what looked like branches, you know, growing out of their body, or probably had maybe grass or leaves for hair. It could have been anything, you know. And it's, if you were to actually see what they saw, most people will probably freak out, you know, because it's something that they're not used to, something they've never seen. They were like, oh my, they was just like, might want to run. And then at the same time, you might not have been, you weren't supposed to see what you saw, you know, so there's that. And if they didn't want to ever be discovered, then not operate by law. They do not operate by rules either. You know, they just do what they.
Feels natural to them.
There you go. And it may look or feel or sound creepy to us, but it's just the way of nature. You know, you see something you were never meant to see. They don't want you running to the media to tell everybody what you saw and even describe what you saw. You know, just like if you saw something that they would expect you to draw this, to, you know, to show you what you saw. And if you drew something that looked like it was like half tree, half human or whatever, you would never get that far. You wouldn't.
No, they probably say you're crazy.
But that too.
Hallucinating and then lock you up in a mental hospital.
That too. Yeah, I believe that more than anything. But yeah, they would definitely say that doesn't exist. Oh, so why am I drawing it? You think I just made it up? Or maybe you just don't want it to be true. So now you want to classify me as crazy. Or and then they try to trump up stuff. Say, yeah, he had history of you know, taking methamphetamines, or he's said these lies before.
Schizophrenia.
Yeah, or they'll try to trump up some bullcrap saying, creating alibis that they create themselves, or they'll probably hire some unknowns to make it sound like, oh yeah, he's talked about this stuff in the past, but he was lying, just to make you sound crazy. They'll do whatever it takes to keep you from the truth, by making the person that told the truth crazy, or make him appear as crazy, or her appear as crazy. Hell, people at my job told me I was crazy because of the stuff I talked about, until they realized I was telling the truth. But that's just the way it is. They don't want you to know the truth, so they try to hide it or cover it up as much as possible. Even if it's very credible or incredible information or knowledge. So, yeah, perfect example. Just like with UFOs. For years, they tried to, say no, they don't exist. But trust me, I know they exist because I seen them fly over my house more than once. One of them stopped right over my head.
I think they pretty much admit that they exist now.
Oh yeah, but they still try to.
Yes, it was.
Huh.
Female hysteria.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, very nuts. You got anything else?
Were you gonna say something?
Do you want to share your views of what UFOs actually are?
Oh. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Now, I've actually mentioned this in, I think, my first video when we just kind of randomly talked about stuff. Okay, now, for those who have watched Bob Lazar, or heard about Bob Lazar and all the stuff he talked about when it came to UFOs and he worked at Area 51, they call them linear aircraft, from outer space or whatever. They gave it a name. Let me tell you. First of all, these craft, that's what they are, craft. They are made and created from a level of our plane that isn't human, powered or piloted or controlled by beings, that can control them from these other levels here on this plane. Like I said, they're really just craft, but they could be probes. It could be one of the two or both. They can be piloted, or they can, like I said, be used as probes. Now, I can tell you right now that they're not powered by element 115. Okay? That's what Bob Lazar said.
Go ahead and explain what that is. Just in case.
Well, I actually don't know what element 115 is. It's some kind
Sounds very made up.
Yeah, it's very made up. But what I can tell you that their craft are powered by is white, gold, and platinum. Very natural resources. All you have to do is, harness it as a power source. Can you imagine what we could do with that? We're talking about natural travel by not using chemicals to power our vehicles. They probably wouldn't even make it sound like they don't, which is why they don't make it sound. when you see them over your head and just kind of just zip across, you don't hear.
And I also don't want us using natural resources to
No.
build anything, because I think there was a, like, talk a while back ago about like a water-fueled vehicle.
Yeah, and he was
all
killed.
of a sudden, he's just
Gone.
doesn't exist.
Exactly. They claimed that he was killed because of it. And then there was one guy that said that he could power a vehicle with just what's the noise? I don't know what happened.
Are you talking about like natural things? You know, they came out not too long ago and said that growing your own vegetables in your own garden is worse for the environment than if they do it for you.
Oh, wait, what? Hold
Yes, like
on. That makes
Said
no
that.
fucking
Yes.
sense.
yes.
How in the hell is it better for you to grow it for us than for us? That's some bullshit.
Because you know that
Oh,
they use so much fucking chemicals on the food that we eat, like
they,
not even, and I'm not even talking processed food, I'm talking like natural fruits and vegetables and stuff.
Well, they
Even the organic foods, like,
yeah.
full of chemicals.
Well, here's the thing about that. They call it organic, but then you have what's called organic seedless grapes. But that's not organic
Nope.
because seedless grapes are genetically modified.
exactly.
So that's not organic.
Grapes are supposed to have seeds in them. How
Yeah.
else you think they're grown? They're grown by seeds.
Yeah.
Duh. So if you're growing grapes without seeds, that means
Also, bananas are supposed to have seeds too.
Yes,
Yeah.
but they don't. But if you read the back of a cereal box, it says there's genetically modified things in there.
And what? I don't eat cereal no more. I literally stopped eating cereal because when I found that there's this chemical.
What is that cereal that they came out with that's like, it's gluten free and wheat free and oat free, and I'm like, what is it made out of? Like, if it's like, it doesn't have like flour, like wheat or oats in it, what is it made out of?
Bullshit.
I think it's called like Magic Spoon or something like that.
Man.
Yes, I'm not kidding. It's called like Magic Spoon or something.
You know what? I really. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna say it. I really would hope that they crash to the ground and never get back up again because they getting on my damn nerves with all this bullshit. I'm serious because you are literally telling people that it's better that we grow it for you. Yet people are getting cancer from the shit that you claim is better that you grow for them. If we do it, that means we don't need your help.
And also, a lot of the things that we, like, gluten allergies are because of how they're making the bread. Because they're mass producing it. You know,
Yeah.
it used to be, sourdough was like,
Excuse me.
really the way that they made bread. They cultivated the yeast slowly, and, you know, you didn't have a lot of gluten allergies back then.
Yep.
Well, I think that's what causes a lot of things like diabetes and like you said, the allergies, and I think it causes a lot of cancer. Is all the stuff that they put in our food and in our water. It's all processed, and you're putting all these chemicals into your
Fluoride in the
body.
water.
Yeah, fluoride in the water. Chlorine. Chlorine is in the water. Then
Oh yeah.
you're putting all these chemicals into your body. Of course, your body is going to react to it. It's not supposed to be there.
So I'm trying to find this information that reads on the back of cereals to let you know what type of chemical is in it.
And there's also the bees dying.
Oh yeah.
Bees dying?
Yeah, that's been a problem for a while.
Oh, okay.
It's the pesticides and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And see,
Like a lot of things depend on pollinators, like bees.
right. Okay, here it is. There is a chemical with 3 letters. It's an abbreviation. It's BHA. If you look on the side of your cereal box and you see BHA somewhere within the ingredients, you need to throw that crap out because it's a cancerous chemical. It's called
Ooh.
But lady, hydroxy.
Butylated hydroxyanisole.
Yeah, it should say butylated.
And it's not just the food. Let's talk about recently it came out that tampons are poisonous.
Really?
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I'm so
But-
glad I'm a man. Excuse me. I'm just saying. Oh, goddamn.
We're both looking at you like,
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like you using something to help y'all, and then they put that crap in it. I'm like, wow. I mean, I apologize if that sounded a little crazy, or I didn't want to offend nobody, but I'm just saying, I'm like,
it just, you said that and we were both like, excuse me.
I know. That was a little too much. I know.
It's okay.
It has arsenic and lead among other contaminants.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that doesn't surprise me
That
at
is
all.
so wrong.
What was it that Simply Orange you were saying has
Yes.
a cancer-causing agent in it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Lactate, which is okay. My mom, she was also lactose intolerant, and this is before I knew she even had cancer. Now she could have already had it because I found me and my aunt found some literature that she printed out on her computer on like breast cancer and all that stuff, dating all the way back to 2006. So I'm trying to remember if she was drinking lactate ever since then, because by her being lactose intolerant, she couldn't drink milk, obviously anything that had dairy in it. So I told her about lactate, and she was able to drink and eat her cereal and all that stuff. Finding out years later that that stuff had cancerous chemicals in it, I was like, okay, you're not drinking that crap no more. But it was already too late. She might have already had it, or that could have been what caused it. And she just went downhill from there. There was really nothing I or even the doctors could do. So if you were drinking lactate milk, or you know someone that is, tell them to stop right now. I told a friend of mine to do it. He stopped drinking on the. He had somebody, I think he had, and his family had been drinking it, so he stopped. He told him about it. So hopefully they stop drinking it. So, but it's just so much crap that they putting in our foods, genetically modified foods, chemical-based foods, pesticides, and yet they're telling you it's better if we grow it for you instead of you doing it yourself. You don't really know what you're doing, really. That's not what I heard.
Well, you know, there's a lot of stuff that they put in our food here in the United States that's banned in other countries.
Yes! Oh, yes. In New York, they banned almost every cereal that I've ever liked from New York.
Well, there's also California.
Yep, California and parts of Asia. They actually serve real chicken at McDonald's in like China or one of those places. You know, and there's a lot of videos that popped up about
Oh wow, I can't imagine having like real chicken.
exactly. You know, I mean the real the chicken's gonna have to get is we have to catch it ourselves and skin it, take the feathers off, do what we need to do, and then we have our food. But see, this is what I've been saying from the very beginning, and also then too. We, being the batteries of the system that we are, you know, currently in, we need to remove those batteries from that system for it to stop working, and then grow, catch, and fish for our own food.
They depend on us.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we don't
They've
need.
always depended on us.
Right. They need us to survive as far as their businesses. They want to stay rich, they want to keep being rich, but we are the ones making them rich by supplying them with the power they need to do what they do, just like we said in my last video. So,
They exploit us.
all the
I
time.
think it's less about getting rich and more about the fact that they can say dance monkey dance and we will.
Yeah. Or turn into a crazy dance step.
Yes.
You know they out.
Like it's all about the control for them. That's I really believe that you know, because they're the ones that come up with the concepts of money in the first place, and then they hoard it all for themselves while we're down here struggling to, you know, barely scrape by, choosing between paying rent and buying food.
Yep. And let's not forget, they are outlawing homelessness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's Yeah, the one that they were trying to outlaw roommates.
Oh, not trying. They are
Yeah, and I
doing
think
it.
it was in New York that
Yeah.
they said if you were caught giving food to a homeless person, you could be fined and or jailed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for giving them food?
Yeah, they actually find this old man that had been doing it for years. He was about 70 something, maybe 80 years old, and they looked at him as a hero. Yet they served him
Yeah.
papers.
But they look at them as less than if they were,
If they're struggling in the system that they created.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Boy,
It's sad to me, but
very sad. So if here's the thing I'm thinking. The fact that people want to exit from the system, now they want to outlaw homelessness or anyone that wants to leave the system. So if you do be on the street, now you can't even be on the street. Even the ones that they was extraditing to, well not extraditing, but sending to Hawaii, and say, well, let them deal with it.
yeah, it's kind of funny that they were sending a bunch of homeless people to Hawaii and then there was those fires on Maui.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which,
It was incredibly sus, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Incredibly sus.
For multiple reasons.
Yep. I mean, completely sus. But
I think they were trying to prevent people from getting out of the area.
well, they succeeded. But I mean, like I said,
That the fires were in.
yeah, oh yeah. But if we want to actually have food, we need to catch our food. We need to hunt for our food.
But we also,
We need to
more
grow it.
importantly, we need to work together.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because if one person can't do everything.
Not
But
at
if we work together and it's like, oh, this person does this and I do this over here,
Yeah.
and you trade.
Yeah.
Yes, there's that. There's like if somebody is growing corn and you want some tomatoes, like you're like, hey, I want some of your corn and I have tomatoes, if you give me some of your corn, I'll give you some of my tomatoes. There you go. Or
Exactly.
that kind of thing. Just trade with each other. Hey, exchange goods and services. Somebody's like, well, I don't grow anything, but I know how to build something. I can build you this or do that for you.
Mm-hmm. Perfect example. Yeah, I was talking about this on my last video. I think it was the programming video where I spoke about one of my many favorite movies, Phenomenon, starring John Travolta and Forrest Whitaker. John Travolta played a character called George Malley. There was a scene in that movie where one of the guys from that town, he was working on his truck. And he came in and said that, George, I don't have any money, but I need my truck. So he said, well, I need solar panels installed on my roof. And he was like, well, I don't know anything about solar. He says, Charlie Shipper does, and he needs a well dug on his property. You help him dig the well, he'll help you with the solar panels, and I will fix your car. Deal? What's that? Deal. And he walks off. Right there. Barter. Okay? It's just that simple. You don't need no money. You don't need to do anything crazy to get what you want from somebody. It's just an exchange of help from people. If we weren't focused on this so much, this is nothing but a difference in our appearance. Okay, I'm not black. I told you this in my video a few years back that I don't consider myself a black people, and if anybody has a problem with that, I don't give a flying, you know what? I don't, because considering yourself as that is a persona that they put on us to go by. Okay, we are all just beings inhabiting our vessels. I ain't saying that we are star children. No, we are just beings who are meant to be human on this physical plane that we live. Okay, this is just I would say that this is part of our identification. This is not color. This is maybe the color of our skin, and we're not black. Think about it. Does this look black to you? This is black. This is brown. Okay? Even your dark skinned people are still brown. It's just a darker tone. But, if we all work together and stop worrying about this so much, work together as beings and not as black or whites or whatever, we can do this. We could say, I'm done with you. Because as soon as we remove the battery from this system, guess what? They stop working. It's just that simple. See, I don't know how to work tools, but if you build this, exactly. That's how that works. Somebody will build it for you. And as long as they're not too shady, you don't have to worry about that. And see, that's the way it's supposed to be. We shouldn't have to, go through all of this. We are, we're supposed to be helping each other out, as humans. Not worrying about what the next person did, saying, well, I ain't gonna do this, I ain't gonna do that. That's not fair. We should be able to deal with this by helping each other out. But we're too messed up by this so-called program, So, I don't know what else to tell you. I just know that it's a very simple thing to do. We just have to get it done, and it's not that hard. It really isn't. We just have to, anybody got any suggestions on barter and trading? You know what I'm saying? Help them brother out. Let me see. Work tools, but if you build this for me, I'll paint a pretty mural on your wall. That would be my contribution, but I love that. Well, yeah, that's perfect right there. At least you're offering something, and they give you that, in return. That's how that works. That's how barter works. You may not have the tools or the skills to do something, but you know how to do something. And if they're willing to accept it, they'll help you with what you need help with. That's how simple it is. So I know for a fact that this can work, but we all have to be on the same page. We all have to be willing to help one another out. Because I don't care who you are. If you need help, I'm going to help you the best way I can. If I don't have the skills, I'll find someone that can help me, and hopefully you will offer something to me in return. It'll be an exchange of things. Like, say, if I need, like she said, if I need some apples, I will do that for you. I'll help you out with that the best way I can. It's just that simple, So, but like I said, we need to start growing our food. We need to start hunting and catching our food. I love fish, and I love to fish. Okay, and it's just me, so I can. Well, I still have my daughter, but still, I don't mind doing all that stuff. I can do it. I can fish. I can hunt if I need to survive and to eat. You know what I'm saying? And I would also love to grow my own fruit. And see, that way I don't have to worry about going to the grocery store. I can plant my own garden and grow my own vegetables, have a salad. Put all kinds of vegetables in my garden, and hopefully make some juice out of the fruit that I got. I also wanted to try grafting. Where I can splice the fruits together and make a whole new fruit. Like, I'll get an apple and put a cherry seed in there, close up the apple, tape it, and put it in a pot, and then it'll grow into it. I'm gonna talk about like maybe a cherry apple or an apple cherry. You alright over there?
The outer door's not locking.
Hold on a second. I'll be right back, folks. You gotta lift the handle up. as you like. You put it up all the way to the top. There you go. There you go. So yeah, people. Yeah, Janie was just saying, you know, it kind of going through what she would do as far as bartering. You know, she asked for help. Man, and that's how that works.
Yep.
So, but yeah, man. Like I said, it is a very simple thing for us to do, and we should be able to help each other out without any kind of problems. You know, so um, it's always something that we could do to help each other out. We just have to do it and stop waiting on them to do it for us.
Well, there's also a lot of, I've seen a lot of people talking about bartering and they're trying to create online communities, but in my personal opinion, if you localize it to like your neighbors,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot more likely to be successful than if
And a
you're
lot
trying
more natural.
This is
than
where
if
it
you're
is
trying
like
to do it across,
where my parents live.
you know,
They do that.
country.
Yeah.
Like people in the neighborhood, they share gardens. They share eggs and things like that with people in the neighborhood, you know, and trade back and forth with whatever they grow in the garden.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. Here's the problem I have with that. People have become so obsessed with the internet and social media. They feel like they have to be seen doing it by the entire world just to show that you're doing it. Just like there was a video of a man who was helping out a turtle that looked like, I think he was trapped. All you have to do is just do it. We don't need to know that you did it. Just do it. Same thing with bartering and
You're
trading.
looking for validation.
Yes.
There you go. You don't need that. You just do it. Just like when it comes, like I said, with bartering and trading, you just do it. Don't have your camera out and showing that you're doing it so that everybody can see that you are. That's not how that works. It becomes an unnatural way of doing things. If you
It's like you're looking for praise or
likes,
yes,
you know,
recognition.
yeah, that's not how that works because it becomes unnatural when you do it that way. If you just do it, trust me, it's gonna catch on. You just don't need the internet for that to happen. Okay, people want that, like you said, that gratification or that validation very quickly. It's like you want to be the one that put it out there. You want to be the one that said, "Oh, well, I'm doing this, so now everybody else got to do it." That's not. Once again, that's not how that works. See, that's how the so-called government fucked it up for everybody. They wanted to control bartering and trading because we didn't need them at the time, but they wanted us to need them. So they came in, took it over, and then they fucked it up just so they can bring in the almighty dollar. I think the first dollar came online like 19. It was
Well, originally the paper dollars was like an IOU. Like people used silver and gold and stuff like that, and then at some point the paper dollar became like an IOU this much in gold or silver, and then they took that off, and then that just became the currency.
But also,
And
not everything.
now they're phasing that out and trying to put everything digital.
or in here.
But also, not everything needs to be traded. Like, you can just help people out.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Out of the kindness of your own heart.
Yeah.
You know, it's just simple. I don't mind helping someone out of the kindness of my own heart. But see, when others are not used to it or they kind of look down on you because of why you help that person, isn't it? You know, I'm like, because it's the right thing to do. I'm not like you. I'm not gonna not help somebody. If they're in trouble, I'm gonna help them. If they're hurt, I'm gonna try to do the best I can to get them some help. You know, I mean, I'm not a doctor or I'm not a EMT, but still, you know, if I see someone hurt, I want to try and help them the best way I can. And same thing with bartering, just like what I explained in it with that movie. He helped someone by him helping somebody else. It was like a chain link type of deal that he made with someone. You didn't have to use money. You just helped me, and that person helped me, and I help you. That's how it works, you know. And it's not like a well-oiled machine. You don't have to create an organization. You don't have to create like those nonprofit organizations where they claim they help, the homeless and children in all these foreign countries and all that stuff. But yet they want you to, donate 50 cents a day.
Yeah, but how much of that actually gets used for what they say it's used for?
If you ask me, nothing. I don't know. But all I know is people, they want that, they do everything in front of the camera so that,
Validation
for,
and, yeah.
yeah, for all that validation and showing that, okay, we started this is how we doing it.
It's like they have to prove good people.
Exactly. I mean, I already know you ain't good people because
So like, good
you
people
doing it
don't
for
have to
entertainment.
prove that they're good people?
If you gotta prove it, that means you ain't good. Can't be. If you gotta prove it, just be
Yeah.
good. Just do it. You don't need a camera crew to show that you're doing it. Just do it. Like I said, it's going to catch on. If it spreads, if people start hearing about it, they tell another person, If it takes a while, so the heck what? It's just the way it is,
I'm not saying this to be all, look at me, but I literally love to help people in any way it makes me happy to be helpful.
See, I like that.
Yeah, see, that's how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have to have somebody pat you on the back because you did something, good to help somebody.
Mm-hmm.
There shouldn't be, that's not a very light trait if you want recognition.
No. And you definitely don't want to let somebody get in your head and make you second guess, what you chose to do from here.
Right.
I would say yes to helping someone in a hot second. That's just how I am. I love helping people, but you have those who wouldn't do it and then they start questioning why you want to do it. I'm like,
Well, isn't there like literal verses in the Bible about, not, in a sense, boasting about?
Oh, yes.
I
Mhm.
think so.
Yes. She said, I'm really shy, but I like people, so I just want people to be happy.
See, I love that. Me too.
Yes.
You know.
Well, what you're talking about, it also says things in there like, clothe the poor and feed the hungry, and, so.
Pray with your doors closed.
Oh, yeah. Pray in secret. Yes.
Boy, see, that's what I don't know who they praying to thing came from. I'm like, well, I can tell you who you praying to. You praying to a book.
No, you don't even read it, apparently.
I know I don't read unless I have to. I'm just being honest. I'd rather talk
No, I
to
was
him.
talking about the, how they nitpick things and don't.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes,
right,
the
yeah.
cherry pick what they like out of
Mhm.
there and leave the rest. You're taking it out of context or you're reading it wrong.
Yeah, I'd rather just pick a cherry.
Literally cherry picking.
Yeah, little cherry. Shoot. Oh man, I'm telling you. I mean, this plane would be a better place if we all just stopped. Just stopped. One day, be like, you know what? I'm tired. I don't want to listen to it no more. I mean, why do we have to be told what we're free to do? That's my biggest problem. Why the fuck we need to be told what we? Why? Just because we live on this continent? First of all, nobody owns a planet. Nobody owns a plane. Nobody owns a continent.
No one can truly own land.
No, it's all here for all of us, including the idiots that control crap, but they need to follow a balance to where we all can coexist on this plane in, villages and not cities, states, towns, and countries and all that stuff.
Land isn't meant to be owned, it's meant to be like worked with and shared.
Exactly. But see, we were never taught that, so others, other than ourselves, don't know that.
And it's also funny because like the natives know this better than me. And
Oh yeah.
the way that they like to demonize the way natives work with the land is interesting as well.
Mm-hmm. So, oh boy, that's why hopefully this video will get out to those who are meant to see it, and they will take all of this in. You know, heck, you may already even have a garden in your backyard, for all I know. Well, I mean, it depends on how many acres you got. So if you got a garden, that means you are already doing a good thing. Now, but it depends on if you're sharing it with your neighbors. You know, you shouldn't have to just keep it for yourself. You know, share it with them. They may share it with you.
I mean, obviously, if you have plenty, it's like it's not a problem to oh, this is enough food for me.
Right. Right. Especially if you're just one person. If you got a family, then of course there's that too. But it doesn't hurt to share with your neighbor. It doesn't hurt to help the neighbor. If they don't have certain things, you can, let them have it. Don't say, well, I need this. I mean, if you barter with them, that's one thing. But if you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart, that's great too. Because if I had a garden, I mean, I would just give it to them. You don't really have to give me anything. I have everything I need. I have my family, I have my garden, I have fruit. I mean, there were times where fruit grew everywhere.
Oh. The pollen stuff. They like to plant a shit ton of male trees, which raises the pollen levels, and which is why a lot of people get seasonal allergies. Probably also due to the chemicals that they are putting on these male trees. But also, the male trees, I'm not super knowledgeable about the difference between the male and female trees. But female trees produce the fruits.
Oh yeah.
So they are intentionally robbing us of that.
Yeah. I never looked at it like that. That makes sense. Well, I mean, like I said, when they saw that we were getting more than what they wanted to get out of us free, they wanted to take it away. So they did. I mean, like, I'll never forget when I was visiting my aunt in California when I was like maybe 9, 10 years old. There was a guy across the street, he had a lemon tree in his yard, and one of the branches was dangling over the fence. When I saw the lemon, at first I thought it was a squash that was growing on the tree because it was yellow and it was, I'd say about that long and like this fat, and I plucked it from the tree and I put it in my pocket. And of course, throughout the vacation, I totally forgot about it. And when I got home, back to New York, I realized it was still in my pocket. Took it out, and like I said, it was about like that long, that thick, and it literally looked like a squash. But I could see it was a lemon. When I sliced it in half, there was an abundance amount of juice that just flowed out. Now, I wish I had thought to put it like on a plate, on a bowl, or something like that. But I didn't realize it was going to be that juicy. So all the juice just flowed out. Now, think about it. I said a lemon that was that long. The lemons we got now, they look like baseballs or tennis balls. Well, not tennis ball. I say about the size of a tennis ball or a golf ball. Okay. So if you really think about it, lemons have changed over the generations. It went from being this long to this long or this small. So that lets you know that they're doing something to our fruits and vegetables. Something that we don't even know about, which is what scared me. I mean, they're literally making food taste like food. I've tasted things that tasted horrible, yet they called it this or that, and I'm like, why? That's the reason why I said, if we already know that they're fucking up the food, just so we can have a reason to go to their hospitals or their clinics or whatever, because they make money off of us with everything that they have. Every business that exists. But in order for them to work, we have to be their customer. So if we're sick, we gotta go to the hospital. If we're dying, we gotta go to the hospital. If we got a toothache, we gotta go to the dentist.
We're born.
Exactly. We have to literally pay to be born. That's bullshit.
Yeah. And then, of course, like I've said before, things like insulin and things like that, like life-saving medications are so ridiculously expensive that people can't really afford them.
At all. You know, it's ridiculous, you know, and shouldn't have to go through all that, but we do. But we allow ourselves to go through it because we give them that power. But like I said, and like we said, we need to remove ourselves as the battery from this system and let that crap just fall to the ground.
Well, the fact that money comes from a privately owned bank should tell you enough right there.
Yeah. But it doesn't for some.
You're right,
They,
because
they feel they need it.
that's the Federal Reserve is a privately owned bank.
So, gotta think about this, people. What do you want more? Your free will, your freedom, or you want them to give it to you? Think about it. I say, I don't need their help with that. I was created with that. All of it. The free will and the freedom. You know? Now that I realize that, I don't need them to give it to me. I don't need you to tell me what I'm free to do. You can kiss my butt. Every last one of you. So, I'm serious, man. I don't care. You know? Shoot. I mean, it is what it is. So, hopefully, it'll catch on and everybody will want to just say, I'm done. Walk away and I'm going to start building my farm or get my garden together. I'm going to start hunting and fishing. But with the way things are in the areas that we live in, the only thing we're probably going to catch is a bunch of pigeons. You know,
And the way they treat those pigeons, like, people domesticated pigeons, right? And then they just kind of threw them aside
I
and
mean,
demonized them.
yeah, because I mean, I can go to Hawaii and pigeons like literally walk right next to you. They don't have no fear of man over there. None of the birds do. You know, except for this one little problem child that was kicking one right in front of me. I'm like, really?
Oh, Lord.
And the parents just let them do it. I'm like, seriously? I mean, you are literally making them afraid of us by bringing that kid over here. Shoot. I'm like, oh, well. Jeez. So, anything else? All right. Well, that's pretty much all I got. What about you? Okay. Well, guys, it has been fun, and it is getting late because we've been at this for about what, 3 hours again?
I'm not sure. It is like 12:37 now.
Depending on what time we started, I'd have to look at
Let's
the
see.
beginning of the video.
1:18:09.
So almost 2 hours.
Yeah, okay, so almost 2 hours. So yeah, but still, that's a long time. And I was waiting to see if someone was gonna chime in and ask some questions, but you know, like I said, it's Friday night. Everybody probably sleep. They probably out at the club. Who knows? I'm just saying. You know, they could be out somewhere with their children. You know, enjoying the hot weather. It's almost the weekend, so. But yeah, we're gonna end it right here. And coming up in our next video is going to be a video about truth. So we're gonna, you know, put our heads together about that and share our natural intelligence and try to give you guys some insight about truth and what that truly means. You know, I've already came at you about, you know, free will and the right to choose and all that stuff. So truth is next. So that's gonna be another good video. But we will also still have some more weird cases to talk about as well. So stay tuned, my friends. And always, in parting, I say, aloha, mahalo, and hui ho. Peace out, brother, and peace out, Wahine.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us. See you later.